Welcome back to the channel. We just went on a mini vacation to Vegas. Stayed at the Oasis campground, which is pretty much the best one in that area. Unless you have a Class A, they have a nicer campground out there if you have a big boy Class A. But I want to show you guys some field economy numbers. The last time I did this, I forgot to do the DEF. So in this video, we are going to do DEF for this one. So with that being said, what is this guy doing? Woo. Okay, we're good. So yeah, in this video you're gonna see the DEF. Now I did record the field economy going down, and now we're just going back home now. So let's go ahead and jump into the video. I cannot believe how hot it is. Check this out. 109 degrees, and you guys can see the tires there. It is super hot, and they're gonna get even hotter because I have to get back on the highway at 75 miles an hour. You guys see that tire pressure and the temperatures? Wow, it's at 145. That's the hottest one. Now this tire on the rear, on the driver's side, it seems to be the one that does not get as hot. Now the sun is on the driver's side of the truck, so those tires are exposed to the sun on that. I'm not sure why that one's a little bit cooler than the others, but yeah, maybe there's not as much weight back there, I don't know. But that is where the slide is too, so you would expect with the sun on that side and with more weight on that side it would be a little bit warmer, but that's not the case here. But yeah, this truck tows really well. I think that if we were to get a weight distribution hitch, I think it would be pointless. I think the only advantage I would get is if I got into a situation where I had to maneuver around a bunch of cars, maybe it would help, but I don't really see this truck as out of any control. Like, I'm not even really towing with water in here. Normally I like to tow with like a full freshwater tank, but I dumped it down where we were, so I figured we don't really need it on the way home because I wanted to try and see how it felt. Now I can definitely tell it's back there. It is a little bit more sway, I will say, because I feel like it's lighter, but it is kind of windy outside too today. Like on the way here, the fuel economy was terrible, so you guys will see that here in a second. But on the way home, like right now we just filled up. I'm already at 8 MPG, so that's not too bad. 21 miles, 21 minutes driven, so yeah, not bad at 8 MPG. And we're climbing a good bit, and on the way to Las Vegas, you're going south, there's definitely some climbing there. And I will say, we were hitting a horrible headwind. I didn't know it until we turned off the music, and I could feel and hear that wind on the front end of the truck. So on the way home it should be a lot better because there is no headwind. And I'm doing about 8 to 9 for what I'm seeing on that instant fuel economy. We just stopped to get some ice cream. I want to show you guys the temperatures really quickly. So it's showing 114, 114. It's going down just a little bit. So this is the one that was a little bit cooler. Now I've never done this on the truck, so I want to show you the temperatures here too. So at 119, almost 120. Now here's the hot side. EGR. Actually, it's not that bad. 160. Now here's something that got really hot. You guys see right there? These running boards are 124 degrees. Difference on the paint. 20 degrees, guys. Holy smokes. Be careful getting on your truck when it's 100 degrees outside, guys. Just saying. It got really windy out here. I'm not sure quite where we are, but this door keeps on popping open. For some weird reason, I thought these metal latches were better, but they're no better than the other ones. So we locked the door and pushed on it, but it's really windy, so it keeps on coming undone. It's probably around this area where the wind's picking up and it's picking it open basically. But we have some tape luckily. How about this? Let's just put tape right here. because that should help it to latch a little bit more securely. So yeah, we kind of hit a storm here, and the wind picked up. It's probably about 25-30 mile an hour gusts, because it's definitely moving the truck and the trailer right now for sure. But I'm just going 80 miles an hour to get around this truck here, and then I'll probably slow back down. But for the most part, you know, you guys know I'm not using a weight distribution hitch. I feel as though this truck does perform pretty well, and it's probably because this trailer doesn't weigh more than the truck, and I've talked about that in other videos, so be sure to go back and watch it. But yeah, our door on our fifth wheel on both sides would come undone like this one did just now, and we just duct taped it. So, you know, I thought that with having the metal latches it would do so much better, but they all suck. I guess having two secure latches would probably be the best way to go, but it is what it is. It's an RV. RVs suck. I mean, no matter what brand you go with, just make sure you love the floor plan because you're gonna hate the reliability and the issues you're gonna have. But just know when you go camping, it's nothing like it. So we should be back home in about 2 hours. And yeah, hopefully we don't have to stop for this wind. I mean, if it gets any worse than it is now, I may have to stop just until it, you know, calms down a little bit. But yeah, so far so good. Spoke too soon. This is gonna be the summary for the entire trip. I'm probably only missing maybe 2 fill-ups because I was unloaded a good bit, so I didn't include those in this one. But with that being said, the first one was kind of a rocky one because I started off on this trip around like 7 to 8 miles to the gallon in between there. And then later on that trip, the fuel economy did start to go up on the computer here. Now you guys can see I spent $115 on just under 28 gallons of fuel, drove 233.1 miles. And the computer says 8.4. Pump, I got just a hair better. 0.03 was the difference between the two, which is really nothing. So almost identical fuel economy. Second trip was the best one. I want to say this is us coming into Vegas. So once you get close to the city, it's really flat. You're not climbing as much, and the speed does kind of drop down because the speed limit there, I believe it's 75 or 80. Actually, it fluctuates between 75 and 80. I think I was going about 65 for like the last leg of that trip because it was a little bit darker and we were kind of getting there a little later in the day. So with that, we got a little bit cheaper gas and we got really good fuel economy. The computer was slightly lower than what the pump was saying, which is always a good thing. And the variance is right here. So the last trip, you guys saw that storm we hit. After that storm passed, it was windy the entire way home. So pretty much that's what messed up the fuel economy, and the computer said 7.6. And this was the second most expensive fuel we purchased, closer back to Utah. And we bought 31.3 gallons to be exact, and drove just under 260 miles. So not too bad. Down below, it does show the total cost of that trip, not including a few other trips there, but for the towing trip that is. And then here is the amount of gallons we purchased, the miles we drove towing, and then here's the average for the computer MPG, average for the pump and the MPG variance here. Here's the total miles on this trip, 986.5. Now when I started this trip, I started literally over there topping off both tanks, okay? And on this total trip, this is majority towing, but some of this is unloaded on this entire mileage here, okay? That being said, here is the level for the DEF tank, half a tank. I haven't done a video on this yet, but this truck consumes the least amount of DEF out of every truck I've ever owned. I think my dually was the absolute worst. That truck, I want to say, even with the larger tank, consumed more diesel than my Ram 3500 did, which had like a 5.7 gallon tank versus the 7 gallon, right? Now with that being said, you guys can see I've already towed almost 5,000 miles with this new trailer. I haven't even had it a year yet. Now that's just one of my trailers. Now the rest of my trailers, how do I go to all my other trailers? I always forget how to use this system. But yeah, I have this one saved. So here, switch trailer profile. So my Cougar, which is my 5th wheel, I did about 551 miles. And then my race trailer, honestly my race trailer, I don't think I've towed as much with this truck. So only 193 miles. So it's safe to say probably about 5,400 miles were towed with this truck, okay? Because my friend's trailer's in there too. I think I've towed that over 100 miles. Now with all that, I've only filled this tank up 4 times. And that's half of that towing. Well, almost half of that towing, right? So just keep that in mind. So let's go ahead and check out what this says, because this is interesting to see how much we use and then what we're getting per gallon. So here we go. This shouldn't take long. Now one thing you don't do is top this off, okay? And I always use it at the tank. Some people will tell you not to do this, but I've been doing this for 7 years, 8 years, never had a problem. Dealerships tell you not to do this, and it's always cheaper too. $4.14. This is actually a little bit higher than I've seen. It's normally like $3.99 here, but yeah, we're probably, oh wow, I was not expecting it to be over 3 gallons, and right at 3 gallons. So I don't top off, and I recommend you don't on this tank. This is a very sensitive system, so just once it's done, just you're done. So here are the miles one more time, and 3.006 divided into that gives you this number here. So 328.18 miles to the gallon rounded off. That is really good towing numbers, guys. Now obviously if you're unloaded, you can probably get double that, but with that trip, guys, I was hitting a terrible headwind and 110 degree temperatures. Although I don't think the heat affects the DEF usage. I think the winter time is worse. It's probably, and I mean I'm just guessing here, probably 50 MPG off when you're in the winter time for sure. Now it will show here that the truck is not completely full. I like to try to be as transparent as possible, but it normally goes up as I drive off. But I hope you guys like the video. I love this truck. It's one of my favorites so far. You guys probably saw the video I did with the wax coating framing. I got it all fixed up. You guys saw how I went off-road with the truck. I really did damage the frame, so I will put that video at the end of this one. Be sure to watch that video. It's a really good one, and I think that you guys will like just how easy it is to repair and make that frame look brand new again with that coating that I found later.